Hey folks, David Stewart here, coming at you from a little bit of a different angle today. I'd like to show you this little book right here. I don't usually talk about children's books, but this is one of my son's favorites, and I think you'll know why once we dig into it. It's a book by Ben Hatke called Nobody Likes a Goblin. Let's take a look at what's inside, because there's lots of little references here that I think are lots of fun, and kids still really enjoy this as well. This is not just one of my son's favorite books, but you know, his cousins, things like that. It starts right away with some very, very fun art. I love the art that's in this book in general. It has a great cartoony feel to it that I think appeals to kids, but at the same time, it's got really beautiful use of pencils and pen shading and, of course, watercolors to produce a really great mixed media effect. Deep in a dungeon, the bats were sleeping soundly, and Goblin woke to a new day. That's our hero. That's Goblin. I do love the contrast with the black and everything. What you basically get with this story is you have a goblin who lives and hangs out with his friend the skeleton in a dungeon, and the adventurers, who you might recognize from, I don't know, a D&D party, they come in and they steal all the stuff from the goblin and the skeleton. So this is a little bit of a role reversal, or a little bit of a, maybe even a deconstruction of a standard hero story. And so Goblin, having had all the stuff in his dungeon stolen, decides that he's going to go get his friend the skeleton back because they stole him. And of course he's friends with a troll who's got a nice arrow sticking out of his head. And one of the things that I do love about this book is there's a whole bunch of details. And when you're looking at a children's picture book, the amount of details that are in a particular drawing can really enhance the experience for a kid. Because the kid's looking at all the things there. He say, hey, look, he has an arrow sticking out of his head. Hey, there's a bird sitting on his horn. There's this, there's that. As we go through, my son will point out, hey, look, there's the baby dragons. They're so cute, right? And some of the more complex action scenes where maybe you have lots of people in a pub here trying to chase the goblin. So the goblin goes out into the world and discovers people don't like goblins. Nobody likes a goblin is what the troll tells him. And so all of the guys are trying to get the goblin. But because of the details, my son can look at something like this and say, oh, there's a knife, you know, here's a cat, these are elves, this one has arrows. There's all these little details to look at. Something that's really good about children's picture books, if they have this level of detail, kids spend a lot of time looking at the pictures. My son will just get this book out and just look at the pictures because he likes them and likes to look at all the details. And he can tell me this guy's a wizard and he's got some magic and, you know, skeleton, shouted Goblin. You know, he says, oh, well, here's the honk that the troll was missing. And, oh, they took a girl. I wonder who she is. They look, there's treasure chests. Here's the books. Here's the scrolls. You have all these great pictures that go on in this book. And the turnaround, of course, is that who does like a goblin? Well, more goblins like a goblin, and that's what turns it around, allows them to fight off the evil adventurers and take back their treasure and go back on their happy, merry way. I really like this this set of images right here, or this scene right here, because you can see there's a whole lot going on. My son loves to look at this. You can see there's a goblin. What's the goblin doing here? You know, there's a ghost over here in the far right hand side. Here's the Goblin King and the skeleton. The skeleton can't really move of his own will, and kids will kind of start figuring that out. Here's the goose attacking them, the honk honk. There's just, each goblin has its own unique look as well, which is a lot of fun for kids to look at. And the story kind of resolves like that. So the heroes are actually the goblin and the skeleton, which is a little bit of a reversal. But kids like bad guys. They like goblins. They like trolls. They like monsters. They like things that are a little weird, especially little boys. And so having the goblin be the hero actually is a lot of fun. And likewise, the details in here are really fun for kids to look at. Now there is one little Easter egg in here, and I don't know if you guys can see it. But there's a meeting stone from World of Warcraft right here on the mountains when you go through this. But it's a great book. I thought I'd share it with you. I do recommend it for kids if you want some kind of weird little fantasy book that's fun for little boys to look at. It really does a great job getting kids interested in the story and liking what's there, and lots of detailed images for them to really take in and gather. The art's great, the colors in it are great, and in general I think it's a great little product. So thanks for letting me share it with you. There's another one that he's done that's a lot like this called Julia's House for Lost Creatures, and maybe we'll take a look at that a different week, but that one's fun in its own different way as well, but it has a lot of the same appeal as this one as far as the way the art works and a little bit of the way the story happens to work. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.